This is gallium. It's a metal whose melting point is slightly above room temperature. It was sent to me by one of my awesome subscribers, and I've always wondered what this would look like under the microscope. In order to do that, though, we have to get it out of the container and put it in this warm bath. Now, after it was sitting in some warm water for about 5 minutes, some of it started to melt. You can kind of see that there was still some solid stuff in the middle, but in the microscopic world, a little bit goes a long way. So I figured I could go ahead and grab my pipette and grab what I could. Now, most of the stuff that I work with is water-based or alcohol-based, and when I place it on a slide, it just kind of spreads across the whole slide. That wasn't exactly the case with this gallium, which kind of just clumps to itself. But that's enough talk. Let's go under the microscope. So this was the very first view that I had of gallium, and I thought it was really, really cool to have what is kind of a microscopic mirror. And I know light probably might not be exciting to you guys, but it was kind of interesting for me to think about, the journey that light takes to get to our eyes. In this case, it was bouncing all over the room in our unfinished basement here and bouncing off of the gallium metal into the objective lens and, through a couple of magnifying lenses onto the camera eyepiece, and then finally to mine and your eyes. I don't know about you guys, but that is quite the journey, also considering that the light came from the sun, or most of it, some of it came from that flashlight. So, and there's me in the top waving hi to myself in the microscopic mirror. Pretty cool. So, as fun as it was checking myself out in the mirror, eventually I was left with this view of no reflection when the gallium solidified. Now, gallium is still pretty cool to look at when it's not solid. To me, it looks like some sort of alien world. And, I eventually was able to get some crystals and stuff to form as well. And you'll see more of that a little bit later. But this is kind of the view of this first sample that I got. So now it's time for our second sample. And in this second experiment, I wanted to see what gallium would look like as it is melting and refreezing and melting again. So I put some gallium on this deep well slide here, and I'm going to just let it harden for a couple minutes. And now I have a lighter that is melting it. And sorry that it gets out of focus a little bit. The autofocus kind of went crazy trying to figure out what to do with this gallium. But yeah, so there it was melted, and it is refreezing or hardening again in room temperature. And in a second, we will be heating it up again. I want to point out here that this is all happening in real time. I don't have any time lapse going on in this case, and so all of the melting and all of the solidifying that you're seeing is kind of all happening at the rate that you're seeing it. And once things solidified in this second sample that I had, I started to get some more interesting shapes. So this stuff right here, I am not sure if it is still pure gallium or what we might be looking at is dross. That's something that kind of hardens on top of some melted metals. But this stuff I'm pretty sure is still just the pure gallium. It is, and this one here, kind of looks like crashing waves. Maybe it looks like something else different to you guys. But yeah, it was really interesting seeing these different features. This one I tried to leave on a time lapse for a while because I thought that it was going to, grow and crystallize. But after about 20 minutes, nothing grew or happened. However, on the other side of the sample, I got this. This pyramid-looking thing is about 1.5 millimeters long and was probably one of my favorite things that I saw under the microscope here. There were some really cool other zigzag patterns and stuff here as well. This was at an area that was really thin, and as you can see, some bright spots and holes. That's just where the glass slide is. And I'm also using some polarized light filters right here. I like to break those out for photography purposes whenever I see something really cool. But there are still a few more things that I wanted to show you guys. One of them is this, which is some solid gallium or dross on the top layer with some liquid gallium underneath. The reason I really liked this is because to me it resembled a frozen pond or lake, with some ice skating marks and stuff. The other thing that I wanted to show you was this fascinating observation. So what you're seeing here is some light passing through liquid gallium and then light not being able to pass through some solid gallium. And so this is all light, right here, there's nothing but backlight passing through this liquid metal. I never thought that light could pass through liquid metal or any metal of the sort like this. But yeah, that'll basically do it for this. I really enjoyed looking at all of this fun gallium under the microscope, had a lot of fun with this. Now I'm going to go ahead and put these back in some warm water because they're all solid now. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please consider subscribing, check out some of my other videos, and I hope to see you guys very soon.